Hey guys, this is D aka Dark Frozen Depths, back with another Kamihime project video. Now, before I get into this event, there's a few things I have to mention. According to the that stream, the summit stream, there's a link to that video in my community tab if you haven't seen it. But it's in Japanese, so good luck understanding it. But according to that, apparently there's going to be some stuff that they'll streamline later on with these events. Nitaku may not hit that point. It depends on how long the game actually survives on our side, because to be quite honest, Nitaku games usually don't reach the same point DMM games hit, comparing when each closes. Well, each side anyways, but I'm not really saying to keep your hopes low, but at the same time don't get them too high, if that makes sense. But there's still always a possibility we may see that later down the line, so who knows. So whenever that happens, if we get to that point, I will indeed do a video like that. But anyways, this event's a raid event and it's a water one. So anybody still working on water teams probably want to get the weapon from here. I don't know for sure just yet because this is newer content, so I'm going to go over it in this video. Same thing with the Adoin and the free SR Kamihime, which is Satan this time. It's going to end up being a win version of her. Also, given that this is a raid event, you can get help from other players, so keep that in mind. But when it comes to the whole leeching thing too, if somebody starts a raid and it doesn't really go too far, as in they just let it sit there with almost all of its health, there's a very good chance nobody's coming in to actually finish it off for you. So if anybody's doing that strategy, it's probably a bad idea. I'm not saying it won't work, because there's some slight cases where it might, but if you're going to do that, you need to make sure you have people on your friends list or your union list or whatever that know that you're starting the raids like that, and they can do that for you. If you just send it to random people, there's a good chance you're not getting help. But that does leave this one thing open, where if you start a raid, do some progress in it, there's a good chance other people might come out and help you out. Or if there's just people that seriously still need to grind anyways. But speaking of the raids, standard, expert, Ragnarok difficulty, it's the same thing as before. Do standard to get materials to open expert, do expert to get materials to open Ragnarok. And you will need to do both Ragnarok and the other two in order to get all the stuff. I say other two because Ragnarok gives you double souls to unlock prizes, and standard and expert will both drop divine. So honestly, at one point, if you get all your Ragnarok kills, you can spam standard if you want. So even newer players can just spam standard and still clear out that list. So honestly, clearing out the Divine Soul reward list is still possible even for a brand new player on their own. You just need to be able to clear standard, and it doesn't take that long to get to that point either. So speaking of which, these raids are never harder than what would be, I'd consider, ultimate level raid content. So the ultimate level catastrophes, they will be as hard, if not harder, than these event raids at most. But yeah, there's going to be stuff on these guys later down the list. That's just the way they do that for these event pages. Because I use a Japanese wiki, so the English one wouldn't have this content just yet. That's why I say that. Unless they're constantly coming here, taking that info and then translating it for their side. I don't know for sure. But that's why I use the Japanese wiki a lot more, because usually they got info and content before the English one does. But anyways, standard difficulty, the boss is 850,000 HP. 3 turns before it does its nuke. And then it also has a normal and a raging meter, of course. Sometimes these don't have that. I have to point that out. But this case she does. Normal mode, when her orbs are full, she'll hit one character and give them drowning. Raging mode, it becomes AoE basically. Her special behavior, if there is no one, it says if there's anyone in a it says it's not, if there's someone that's not in drowning, if I'm reading this correctly. Yeah, if there's somebody in drowning, you'll get a follow-up nuke. That's what it's saying right here. Sometimes the translation is a little bit weird. Google Translate is not the best thing, basically. But it says a special attack that triggers drowning. It is 3 to 4 times its normal damage, and it will target the drowned character. So yeah, the whole main trick with it is the fact that it will try to send you in the drowning status, and if I'm reading this correctly, if someone is in drowning, then it's going to do a follow-up nuke. So be wary of that one. At the same time, it also could be the other way around. If there's no one in drowning, then it will do that nuke. Now, in this version of the fight for Expert, and it looks like the same thing for Ragnarok as well. Yeah, so Expert and Ragnarok is going to have the same mechanics. For Expert, and we are not fighting Sariel, keep that in mind. We are fighting Lilith for both Expert and Ragnarok. But she's got the same pattern, basically, with a little bit of tweaks. 7.7 million HP in Expert. Instead of drowning, it's poison, so keep that in mind. And it's twice randomly for normal mode this time, but it's still AoE for raging. Now it's saying if you're in a poison state, the poison character will get hit with this follow-up nuke. She can't be in stun, but one of your characters has to be in poison status, so keep that in mind. As for another special trigger that she has, when her HP is cut down to half, she will up her own burst damage. Now, what that means is this. The official name for these special attacks where the orbs are full, some people call them overdrives. I tend to call them nukes just because it's easier. The official name is a burst. They are enemy bursts. This is going to up the damage that those do for 10 turns. So keep that in mind. It's not timed. It is turns. So that said, you're going to have to remove it, or you will most assuredly get hit 3 times with an enhanced burst, unless you're just strong enough to kill her really quickly. So yeah, keep that in mind. So having somebody that can remove poison might actually help reduce the damage you take. And then Ragnarok, same stuff, only the burst damage buff is now 12 turns. The poison is a little bit stronger, the attacks are a little bit stronger. Normal is randomly 3 times this time. And she's got 23 million HP, which is the most HP an event boss has had. They point that out right here. In fact, just to go by comparison, that's the same amount of HP that the Light Catastrophe has, I do believe. Either the same or more. It might be the amount the Dark one has, the Dark Ultimate Catastrophe. Sometimes I don't fully remember the HP values, but at this point in the game, if you're soloing expert raids, this content should not be a problem for you. But they do recommend Cassiopeia just to sip and remove the buff that she puts on herself. They say Arthur and Shingen just to sip and raise your damage output. Mordred if you don't have too many people in the raid. Honestly, my personal suggestion, have somebody that can remove the poison off of you, or drown in the case of the first in the standard raid, because you're going to get hit with that trigger. Apparently, it goes off whenever somebody's debuffed, so that's where you're probably going to need to remove that stuff. This also means the characters that block it is going to have a field day. In my case, I got Awakened Arrows, and well, my team's strong enough as is, she'll just make them even faster. Now, of course, this is the generalization of what you need to get in order to get certain stuff. The blue souls are divine, the red souls are devil. But 50 blue, 55 red in order to get all the SSR stuff, the basic new event stuff. But there, 140 blue, 82 red in order to get all the gacha tickets. For some reason it says 22. I thought it was 20. Or I thought it was 30. It was 20 or 30 before. Now it's just an odd number of 22. You can get the Dragonic Eye Shards at 200 blue souls and 90 red. 225 blue, 95 red will get you all the magic jewels, which is 3,000 just from the event list alone. You get more for doing the each story piece in the raid for the event. You finish the entire thing at 250 blue and 100 red. My suggestion to you, because of the fact that the gacha gives you stuff like magic jewels, gems, plus materials, even extra copies of the Eidolon if you're lucky, or the hammer if you're grinding that out. Even if you're not grinding it out, it's still extra fodder if you want to. Because the event gacha gives you all of this stuff, that's why I say grind this out, get more stuff. You will get some different things. This is also the only time you can really get these Dragon Bone items too, now that Gem Gacha has changed. This is the only other place you can get them from. So if you want a very easily grindable place for them, then yeah, get more tickets and do that. But here's the weapons themselves. Now it says water attribute attack force. I think it's water elemental with how they worded that, and then you get a defense boost on top of it. But she's worth keeping. Even if you get extra copies, I do believe she's worth keeping, because that attack power is pretty high. 2100 on an event Eidolon is very high. Not only that, her summon effect is to increase the burst performance of your characters. So she's worth keeping. The gun, single skill attack power up. If you need to fill up more of your slots, use it. If not, it's probably going to be fodder. But it does indeed have a lot, and I mean a lot of attack power. Again, keep in mind that these are event stuff that's going into like low 2000s. So that's something to know. If you happen to need to fill holes for specific phantom weapons, then maybe get the wind hammer or the water hammer. But me personally, I would skip them. You shouldn't need the axe at all because it's a fender, and there's other places to get that. There's a permanent content that will give you SSR defender weapon too, which is the epic quest. So you do not need this axe. And the grails are there just because there are like prizes in the list. So there's that. But they want you to clear Ragnarok with a wind team. Honestly, my wind team isn't that strong on HP, but they might actually do enough damage in order for me to actually pull this off. So I may give it a shot. Expert clear with our Kamihime. That's a cakewalk for my light team at this point. If I decide to use them for that, I may actually go to a different element. I just can't use fire, unfortunately. Fire is easily one of my second best teams. I say one of because I'm not sure if water is actually caught up to their damage point. But fire definitely does a lot of damage. Unfortunately, they're weak in this event, so I can't really use them. Especially considering the fact that they only have about 12,000 HP. But that's pretty much the event list. Now, I'm going to double check on this. I just want to see if it's definitely elemental, and I'm curious to see if they got the burst performance. Oh yeah, attribute. It's definitely elemental attack. But it says it says 3 buffs to increase the damage during bursting and the upper limit. So how long does it last? 3 turns. Okay, so this is like an enhanced version of Provisional Force. By the sound of things. Provisional Force just ups the damage. This one ups the damage and the soft cap. So it takes a while for her to be able to use it though, unfortunately. But it does have its uses, so I would definitely keep her in a sub slot, possibly even get an extra copy of her if you need to. So there's that. But here's the one I'm most curious about. What Satan's gonna give. Because I did take a glance at it. I remember it being pretty decent for a free character. I just don't fully know. But anyway. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. Her burst will enhance the next ability she uses. So that's our main gimmick. Now, going into what she normally has, all of her turns, all of her abilities, take 6 turns to come off cooldown. Ironic that they give Satan 666, go figure. But, she's got a damage nuke, and it goes off twice if she's got the enhanced effect. When, she uses her burst gauge increase, her self gauge increase, she'll put a drain on herself for 2 turns, and the drain is boosted. Hopefully the burst increase gets boosted too. We'll see that later down the line. For her third one, she increases her own combo rate, lowers the enemy's combo rate, and it's stronger when she's got the boosted effect. And then she naturally has a combo rate increase as an assist. So that's something to know. And unfortunately, they don't have any more details on that type of stuff either. So I can't tell you if the burst gauge is increased. But it says energy drain and then transform drain. I wonder if that trans drain is the same as what Bao on Light does. I could take a look at it real quick and see if trans drain is the same thing. It says energy drain and then trans drain. If trans drain is the same thing as Light Bow, that means it's going to become AoE. Okay, that's Thunder Bow. I have to go pretty far down this list too. We have a lot of characters on our side now. Yeah, trans drain. So it should be AoE. So trans drain, what it does when she hits an enemy, it drains just like a normal energy drain. But trans drain applies to the whole group. So say she'll get 200 per hit, everybody heals by that much, not just herself. That's what trans drain does. So that's pretty good. So considering the fact that this is a free character that will get that, if you still need to get characters for your win team, there you go. If you don't, then don't worry about her too much. She's just more magic jewels basically. But she may actually have some use in the Thunder Tower, just because of that. So she's pretty good. Considering that she's an SR that has all this stuff, she's pretty good. I just wish I knew how much the combo rate was. But anyways, that's all for this video. As you can see off to the side right here, there's something called Battlefield of the Armed Soldier. That's new permanent content that will happen later down the line. Like I said in a few previous videos, I am still looking into this type of stuff because there's not too much details on it. But look forward to that. There's I think it's called Lucian Lucid weapons or Lucian weapons, something like that, that we can get from that, which is a brand new type of weapon. So if you guys are worried that there's not going to be much more permanent content later down the line, don't worry. They're working on it on DMM, so if we survive that long on Taco's side, then yeah, we'll get it too. Just no guarantees if Taco lasts that long. There's a few games that did, but it all depends on what happens, so there's that. One major thing that keep the game alive is to actually keep funding it, because these things do need money to run, guys. So my personal suggestion to you guys, if you are capable of spending, do it every once in a while, at least for the SSR stuff. If you're one of those people that just get the miracle tickets, that's still fine too, but these games need money to run. If they start losing too much money, they're going to close. So yeah, keep that in mind. It also may have an issue if there's people still doing the whole scripting thing and all that too, which is getting a program to do all this stuff for you, like selecting stages and going into the raids and all that. Doing that slows things down for other players. It is beyond lazy for one, because the game already has an auto battle function. What else do you really want? And considering that it's slowing other players down too when you are in a raid with those type of people, or even slows down the server itself. Apparently it puts a strain on the server. There's a lot of people doing it. But yeah, that can ruin games too. So yeah, I don't know if the devs are going to enforce that crap or not, because it doesn't always happen. But my suggestion to you, if you're one of those people that's scripting and all that, please stop before you ruin the game for everybody. And if you're one of those people that come across a scripter, I hate to be one of those type of people, but they probably should be reported. If you know exactly who it is. But I can't say that everybody scripts and all that too, and that all the slowdowns happen because of it. So you will have to do your research and whatnot. If you know somebody that's doing it, then well, at least telling them to stop. If they don't, then well, it's on them whatever happens, because people have been banned, people have lost accounts due to that. So it's something you shouldn't be doing. But anyways, I have to mention that because it's very possible that we could still see them in this raid event too, so keep that in mind. Also, I have to point out the simple fact that sometimes it's not a matter of the raids being slowed down because of a scripter too, because apparently if you take too many turns in a raid, it will do that. And the most obvious thing, if there's a lot of people, it'll start slowing down too, usually when there's at least 10. So it's not always a scripter doing that crap, but as far as I can tell, the server is getting strained quite a bit. There should be a fix for that later down the line, I've heard, but we don't need scripters making it even worse and possibly getting this game closed down, because one other game has closed down on Nutaku. I don't know if there's more, thanks to scripting. So yeah, bad idea. Anyways, that's all for this. Since this is a brand new event, I'm going to be showing off some of the fights. I'll probably end up soloing them anyways. But that's all for this. More of this is going to come soon. And also, I have another video that's going to be on the way. Look forward to that, because this thing I'm going to talk about in this upcoming video is 4th tier souls. We are very close to the point where we can start getting them. So look forward to that. But anyways, that's all for this. This video is going on long enough. And that's all for now, guys. Take care.